Hey everyone, it's Heather with Her Wellbeing, and today I'm sharing with you full moon rituals for Scorpio. Thanks for joining me. So, if you're new to the lunar cycle, the new and the full moon have different qualities, and we observe these in Vedic science to be helpful, especially for women's wellness, anyone's wellness, but certainly getting in tune with the rhythmic nature or the rhythms of nature, including that of the sun and the moon. So the full moon is the apex of the lunar cycle. It's kind of like the highlight. And it's when the energy of the moon is at its peak. This is a celebration of the divine feminine, the divine mother, creativity, and life in general. The full moon is associated with ovulation. And it's a magical time when the moon's energy, again, is at its peak, and you may feel more full. But your mind and your heart may also feel more full. And so this can be a time of intensity, um, also emotional volatility, passion, also vitality and strength. It's a great time to connect with your feelings and intuition. The moon in Vedic astrology not only represents the divine maternal and celestial figure, it is also the subtle aspect of the mind that includes our mood and emotions. So it's a great way to connect with those, to express yourself, to celebrate the divine mother and femininity, to celebrate abundant life. So the divine feminine is really all about um, the support of life here on earth and in our universe as we know it. And some fun rituals might be lighting candles and taking a full moon bath, meditating, going for moonlit walks, just to name a few. We'll talk about more rituals that you may like to try. So today's full moon falls under Scorpio, and that is in Vedic astrology. The difference is Vedic astrology looks at the sky, the night sky, a little bit more differently. It's a little skewed, and actually, they say this makes it more accurate because it accounts for the tilt of the Earth. So if this resonates with you, you may feel that there may be more resonance with the Vedic sign. But in Vedic astrology, it is in Scorpio, that is a water sign that is ruled by the fiery planet Mars. And so this is a pitted planet. There's some intensity and heat there, but because of the watery nature, that softens that intensity a little bit. It's associated with the sacral chakra or svadhisthana. That's low in the pelvis. And it's represents the eighth house of life and rebirth. Mars is seen as a malefic planet, meaning that it can be a dark force, a destructive force, but we know that that is part of the natural order. So this is a good time to notice those things that are hidden, secretive things, the unknown, diving into mysteries of the body, of the mind system, the mysteries of the universe, the mystery of moods, transformational experiences, deep emotions, and spiritual journeys. So that's what this full moon is bringing us. So Scorpio really usually a lunar event packs some kind of emotional punch. Most people will feel this, but especially Scorpios, if that is your zodiac sign, if it is your moon sign, maybe even more strongly. And a few, many strengths. Scorpios have many strengths. They are devoted. They are people pleasers in the sense they want to give pleasure. They don't like to upset people. They're really into deep feeling. They're deep feelings. They're highly intuitive, deeply spiritual beings. They have deep healing capacities and are very instinctual and have high intuitive powers. So the full moon also brings that to all of us, not just Scorpios. You might feel that power a little bit more accentuated at this time, but all people will benefit from this full moon. There are on the shadow side, there are some weaknesses in a Scorpio moon as well. There can be a sense of critical thinking, criticism, possessiveness, being jealous or being vengeful, controlling, punishing. There may be a sense of negativity or hypersensitivity. You might take things very personally at this time. So, weighing between these strengths and weaknesses, anything can really manifest here. And for many of us, it's going to depend on just what the current mood is, the internal landscape, and also how Mars, the planet, is situated in your birth chart. If it is rubbing against other planets and creating that, using its malefic force, you may experience more of the shadow side of Scorpios. There's lots of many reasons why you would experience one over the other. And of course, with any full moon, there are many opportunities. You can put your guard down long enough, especially for our dear Scorpios, and open your heart. You could be rewarded by what you find there. I know that you want to always protect your hypersensitive soul, but from what? The question is, what are you protecting yourself against? Can you open yourself up to see what's there? It might surprise you. It might be helpful. You might find an ally there. There are threats or risks as well. If you have Mars is in a strong place in your chart, you may be tempted to play the aggressor or the victim. So Scorpio can go either way. So just notice if you're embodying the aggressor or if you're embodying the victim, and if that is a helpful place for you to be. And you can either abuse power in this, or you can give your power away. And is there a way to find the middle path? Where can you have a foot in each place, if you will? Can you find balance? The Scorpio in the cosmic body rules the reproductive system. And so during the Scorpio full moons, you might find that you may need to give yourself a little bit more TLC around the menstrual cycle, especially if you're menstruating with the full moon. And especially the period before your period, during that PMS time, you may feel really vulnerable, especially our Scorpios. Vulnerable, or just negative, or wanting to hide. So that's all, I think that's all par for the course for Scorpios, and for others too. You might be feeling the strength of this moon. The urinary system as well. So we can be in danger of having more UTIs, especially if you have a history of those. Make sure that you're staying hydrated and avoid overdoing alcohol or coffee or even tea, because those can act as a diuretic and also trigger inflammation as well. And then we want to give the large intestines, the colon, Also some TLC. Try to avoid foods that you're sensitive towards, overly acidic foods or beverages, spicy foods. These are not helpful for our fiery Mars people, Mars natives. So choose a calmer, simpler cuisine, establish regular bathroom habits, and then again, keep the water flowing, right? Scorpio is that water sign. So it really depends on that flow of the water element to stay balanced. In terms of yoga, a good theme for Scorpio is balance. Again, we've already spoken about how, we can be the aggressor, we can be abusive and controlling and negative, or we could be the victim and we can give away our power, and we can shrink away from opportunities. So again, trying to find that balance between intensity and surrender. What we want to focus on with yoga is earth energy. It's very balancing for the watery, fiery Mars natives. Find a middle path that helps you to avoid resorting to extremes. So Scorpios like to go to the extremes, right? So again, try to find the middle path. There's more peace in the middle path. Nourish the sacral chakra and strengthen the connection with your gut feelings, your intuition, your inner guru and teacher that kind of tugs on us, and nourish that connection with the heart, with the emotions. So here are just a list of yoga postures that might be helpful. And many of these postures we're nourishing the kidneys, which help to regulate the water balance in the mind-body system. Things like Cobra, Sphinx, Bhujangasana, and then some squats and some lunges too, so that we're working in that lower pelvic region and nourishing those deep internal organs, nourishing the pelvis, the hips. In terms of pranayama, you might find something that's a little bit more balancing, right? Balance is the key here. So Nadi Shodhana, Anulom Vilom. The difference is that with Anulom Vilom, with alternate nostril breathing, there's a gentle internal breath retention as you switch nostrils. That's totally optional. If that makes you feel nervous or anxious to hold your breath, you don't have to do it. But again, finding an equal breath, allowing prana to flow equally through the two nadis, 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 or channels of the mind and prana that help to regulate that prana. That can be really helpful with regulating emotions and thoughts, helping us to choose our thoughts a little bit more intentionally and mindfully. And then in terms of mantra, you might work with the Bija mantra VAM, spelled V-A-M, but pronounced VAM. And you'll see in the yoga video that I also include that in the practice. And this helps to not only focus, create an internal drishti, the internal attention, but also stimulating and nourishing the sacral chakra or svadhisthana. So play with these yoga offerings, especially the ones for the mind, which are mantra and pranayama, because it'll help balance the mind. And that's really important. So embracing practices that are for mind and body, because remember, we are a mind, body, spirit system. So we need to give the mind a little bit more TLC, especially during a Scorpio full moon. So I have a few journal prompts for you. And as you settle in, this is optional, but take a moment. It's like a guided meditation to find a comfortable seat or just find a place of stillness as you maybe close your eyes or just lower your gaze, soften the focus, and visualize the great full moon in the sky. Maybe it's a night sky studded with stars, a clear, starry night. and take in this nourishing, cooling energy of Mother Moon. So take a moment just to breathe in her energy and affirm yourself with her presence, right? She is as she changes, we change, right? So we see the coming of the full moon. We feel full as she shows us our fullness. So taking in that right now with each breath, feeling your body breathing. And think about what your intuition is trying to tell you right now. And sometimes when we're speaking with the mind can be limited in its understanding. So sometimes we need to get in touch with the body. So get in touch with the breathing body. Get in touch with the heart that is the intelligence of the body, and listen deeply. What is your your intuition trying to tell you right now? And that might take a few breaths. Just start to cycle through the thoughts. Let them circulate and land on something that resonates. You can also jot these down so you can visit these prompts later when you are at home and you feel safe in your home space. Do you feel like you are hiding any emotions? Is anything hiding? Does something need to be drawn out gently into view? And what are those emotions? So, like, for example, sometimes we feel anger. And then we look under the anger. We sit with that anger for a little bit and feel it. And we might notice that there's sadness under there. Or it can be the opposite. So think about what emotions want to come out right now. Which ones do you feel like you've been maybe pushing down a little bit? Which ones want to come out? And what is the message within the emotion or emotions? What are they trying to say? What needs to come to light? And how can you very compassionately shine a light on these emergent emotions? Right? How can we look upon these emotions and ourselves in a very compassionate way? Right? So Scorpio moons can be very intense and discerning. So we want to use that power of discernment to choose compassion over intensity. Okay, and going to extremes. And I'm thinking about these emotions, what they're bringing to us. Many times our emotions during a full moon are our teachers. They are guiding us, our guides. Maybe you can find a helpful mantra to help look at these emotions with heart, with compassion, to grant yourself some grace. So important with the Scorpio moon. We can be a little hard on ourselves. I know Scorpio is my Western sign, and I still resonate with it somewhat. So that link is still strong. So just think about a helpful mantra. It could be a very simple one-worded mantra or 2 words. I'm okay. Or it's okay, as in right now. Am I okay? Am I safe? Things are going to get better, perhaps, or it won't always be like this. But if your mood is bright and those emotions are bright coming out, maybe they're more celebratory mantras. I feel alive. I feel lit up. Or maybe I'm in a mood. I feel sad. So whatever those emotions are, I encourage you to look at them, accept them as they are. They don't need to be changed in any way or pushed away. Just look at them and notice what it's like to sit with them. And then think about how can they guide us right now. Herbal medicine. So Scorpio has many herbal allies. I picked out a few of my favorites. Passionflower, because passionflower is very calming. It is a sedative, so it's something that you might have as you're preparing to go to bed, or if you feel very anxious during the day, you might try it. It's not a super strong sedative. You take a mild tea. So it's, it can be a daytime tea, if you're using it in, just a cup or so, just to soften the mood, calm your nerves, especially if you feel like you feel agitated, or nervous. Passion flower is just very soothing. Rose, I love rose for Pitta planets and Pitta signs. So cooling, so nourishing and grounding. Lots of plant earth energy. These are our friends coming to help us in times of need. Our fellow beings here on earth, on this land that we share with them. And so they're wonderful for soothing inflammation, inflamed emotions, intense emotions, just a really sharp intellect, piercing intellect, and maybe softening to give the mind a little bit of a break, giving an agitated mind a break. I love rose. Rose is also wonderful for the skin, where, if you're menstruating or if you're in your PMS time, maybe you're seeing some inflammation in the skin. Stinging nettles, because they're so wonderfully nutritive. So many vitamins and minerals in nettle. Also very drying. So actually, if you're trying to balance the watery aspect, if you feel overly emotional and like a little bit more on the sluggish side, stinging nettle can be really nice for balancing the water element if it feels excessive. If you have a lot of sadness or depression, and those heavy feelings, feeling very lethargic, so the nettle can give you some energy, with all of its many nutrients. And again, to counteract Scorpio's watery nature. A few blends that I really like, Vita Blend from Mountain Rose has oat straw, so nourishing. The nettles in there as well. So the oat straw and the nettles balance each other really well. I was just at the Herbal conference, the Midwest Women's Herbal Conference, and they had oat straw and nettles infusions, big containers of them side by side, which was wonderful. So you could take a little bit of each. And I was just sipping on that all day. It's so wonderful. And nettles is a little bitter. So the oat straw is more like sweet and smooth versus those stinging nettles. And no, they don't sting when you drink them, but if you find a plant in your yard, you might feel the sting. Yes, because they have little sharp hairs on them. Red clover for the reproductive, the female reproductive system. Again, very nourishing and balancing to hormones. I thought a rose milk would be perfect for this full moon, the Scorpio full moon. Organic rose petals and the milk of your choice, adding a sweetener of your choice, and that's it. Maybe some digestive spices to help digest the milk. Just a really simple, beautiful, and fragrant cup of rose milk. So if you love golden milk, try rose milk. You could even add rose to your golden milk, which would also be wonderful. I also love Mellow Mind, CCFT. It has chamomile flowers, perfect for Scorpio, calming, soothing. Go to Cola to help energize the mind, and lend yourself some mental clarity and energy in the mind. Also strengthen the mind, that power of discernment, right? Of making the right choices and also choosing the right thoughts around this powerful moon. It also has passionflower as well. So that's a wonderful, soothing mix. I do have some resources to share with you, in particular, my In Her Balance community. If you're not part of that as of yet, please join us online. We also do these live sessions and seasonal challenges and a whole resource library that's available to members with everything you want to know about Ayurveda and yoga, and how they can help, these holistic sciences can help you strike balance in your life, but also unlock your energy potential, so that you can lead what I like to say an unapologetic, authentic life. I think that's what we're here to do, is to lead a life that feels really juicy and real for all of us. So you're welcome to get in touch. You can go to my website, herwellbeing.com, and book a free discovery call. And you can do that and scroll down on any page and you'll find a place to book a discovery call with me if you want to learn more, especially about the online community In Her Balance. And if you're new to our community, I'm really passionate about self-care practices that bolster women's overall health and well-being, but especially I focus on digestive health and hormonal health and connecting the dots between those two worlds. So, so, so important for you to unlock your energy potential, to make that connection. I want to thank you for listening as always. I'm having trouble hearing you. You're welcome. Siri is talking back to me right now. Isn't that crazy? I'm not talking to you, Siri. Thank you for helping, but I'm talking to two other people right now. Enjoy this full moon and go to the Scorpio Full Moon yoga practice if you want to get on the mat with me and embody some of these practices. Nourish the body-mind system, nourish your sacral chakra, and balance that fiery pitta presence with this Scorpio moon, as well as that watery nature as well. It's such an interesting balance. So I wish you the best of luck, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.